समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या समझ में नहीं आया?
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है, अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Bihar has voted. The first phase of elections is over and the voter turnout is already breaking the record of the last assembly election. More than a 60% voter turnout at 5 p.m. today, surpassing the phase 1 mark of the 2020 assembly election. Of course, it is dangerous to draw links between voter turnout and election patterns, but we will try and understand which direction the politics of Bihar is headed in. Is Rahul Gandhi's vote chori allegations, now focused on Haryana, but started in Bihar in the campaign, also making a difference? Or is the Modi factor and the Prime Minister targeting what he calls differences in the Mahagathbandhan eventually going to prevail on the ground in Bihar? I'm Barkha, you're with the Mojo Story. On the program today, we ask the big question: who is winning the state of Bihar? There are, of course, now technically 3 different groups or entities that are being looked at. Tejashwi Yadav and Rahul Gandhi's alliance, Nitish Kumar and the BJP alliance, and the Prashant Kishor factor. There's also the Mahila factor, with many political analysts arguing that how women vote will at least decide Nitish Kumar's fate. There is also speculation that even if the NDA comes back to power, someone else might be the Chief Minister, especially after Amit Shah's very cryptic comment on the same questions. Rahul Gandhi has once again raised the issue of vote chori, not just in his speeches in Bihar, but at a detailed press conference where he focused on the previous election in Haryana, claiming that a Brazilian model had actually voted under different names 22 times. The model reacted, calling it quote unquote madness. The allegations of vote chori are flying thick and fast. The opposition today accused BJP MP Rakesh Sinha of having voted in Bihar soon after he voted in Delhi. Sinha reacted, saying the allegation was defamatory, and explained why he had had his name transferred to the voting list in Bihar. But is vote chori an issue in the state of Bihar, or is the Bihar voter being guided by an altogether different set of factors? And is caste going to be paramount in Bihar as it has often been? Let's introduce our guest on the program today. Political analyst Amitabh Tiwari, founder of Vote Vibe, is with us. Amitabh, namaskar, and thank you very much. Let me start by asking you to talk about the turnout. The turnout is big. It's very big compared to the last time of phase 1. But of course, we have now long learned that there isn't a necessary conclusion that comes from voter turnouts anymore. How do you read the turnout?
Essentially, yes, the turnout is around 4% higher than 2020 in phase 1. Now, we've seen higher turnouts could mean either pro-incumbency or anti-incumbency as well. So if you see, the data is pretty nuanced. Today, 18 districts went to polls in Bihar. Out of those, 9 districts are showing a decline in turnout. 9 districts are showing lower than 60% turnout, which is the average, and 9 districts are showing above 60%. If you compare seat by seat with 2020, on 22 seats the turnout has declined, and on 99 the turnout has increased compared to 2020. Normally, a low turnout still is a high indicator of pro-incumbency, because the voters do not feel enthused enough to go out and vote, or do not see confidence in the opposition. Gujarat 2017 and 2022 are classic examples of low turnout when incumbent governments have come back to power. But a high turnout could be indicative of both pro or anti-incumbency. And the key number to look at is the female turnout versus the male turnout. The female turnout in Bihar has been on an average 3 to 5% higher than males. So that number is the key, because a high female turnout could mean a higher impact of the rupees 10,000 cash income support scheme. And historically, if you see, JDU has performed very well on high women turnout seats. In 2020, on 167 seats, the turnout of women was higher than that of men. Out of that, 99 seats were won by NDA. So 99 out of 167 seats were won by NDA, where the women outvoted the males. Whereas where males outvoted women, the Mahagathbandhan was leading. JDU won 37 out of its 43 seats, almost 90%, in seats where the women turnout was more than men. Even in 2015, it won 61 out of 71 seats on seats where turnout was higher of women. And in 2010, 79 out of 115. JDU has a strike rate of 70% to 90% on seats where the female turnout is higher compared to males. So we have to look at this number, which is the key.
So basically, you're saying if more women have voted than men, it is possibly good news for Nitish Kumar and the NDA.
Yes, yes.
Do we have that breakup so far?
No, we don't have that breakup so far. So we'll have to wait and see, because we've seen in the past that even the turnout numbers take a few days to get
That's
updated.
right.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
we are at 60.28. So we could end up at
this high turnout crossing 60%. We have to see its gender breakdown. It could for us to get a better sense. But are you finally on the turnout issue saying that, like in Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh, where the female vote actually delivered good results for the BJP, that could happen this time if the female turnout is significantly high?
Yeah, so if the female turnout is significantly higher, then it seems to be advantage NDA, and that too particularly the JDU. Because what happens is that when we measure the impact of any scheme, we have to measure the impact of that scheme on non-core voters or floating voters. See, the core voters anyways mostly would have voted for JDU. The highlight of this scheme is that whether it is able to pull voters from Mahagathbandhan or a Jan Suraj or others to itself. And in Vote Vibe, when we had asked this question in our trackers, around 6% women respondents said that they could switch from Mahagathbandhan or a Jan Suraj or others to NDA if they receive this 10,000 rupees. So 6% is a very big number when you compare the last elections was just 12,000 votes apart.
Okay, so we await those details of the gender breakdown in this sort of turnout of a high turnout of more than 60%. In the meantime, let's get to the broader politics. The Prime Minister, in one of his speeches, has basically alleged that not all is well between Rahul Gandhi and Tejashwi Yadav. This speculation started when Rahul Gandhi in the interim was missing from the campaign for a few weeks. Some people speculated that he was not very happy that Tejashwi Yadav had been named CM contender, CM candidate. It is important to say that the NDA does not have a declared chief ministerial candidate and the opposition does. Just going to play out this statement of the Prime Minister and come right back for your response.
साथियों, अभी तो सत्ता से इनका दूर दूर तक का कोई वास्ता नहीं है, तब भी एक दूसरे को नीचा दिखाने में जुटे हुए हैं। ये नाम के साथी हैं, काम तो एक दूसरे को नीचे घसीटने का ही कर रहे हैं। आप मुझे बताइए साथियों, शहर में आरजेडी वालों के इतने पोस्टर लगे हैं, आपने उनमें कांग्रेस के नामदार की एक भी तस्वीर देखी क्या? दिखाई दिया क्या? अगर कहीं होगी भी तो दूरबीन से देखे बिना दिखेगी भी नहीं। अब दूसरी तरफ आप लोग कांग्रेस के नामदारों की रैलियां देखिए, उनमें कांग्रेस के नामदार आरजेडी के नेता का नाम तक नहीं लेते। ऐसी छुआछूत कि एक दूसरे का छाया भी उनको अब डर लगता है।
So, how do you see how both alliances have, in a sense, played their narratives? Tejashwi Yadav clearly wanted to be declared a chief ministerial candidate after he said that Rahul Gandhi would be the obvious prime ministerial candidate in a general election. That took time happening, but it eventually did happen. Amit Shah, on the other hand, when asked on Aaj Tak whether Nitish Kumar would be the next chief minister, said that the campaign was under the stewardship of Nitish Kumar, but there would be a process to decide the next chief minister. How do you look at this difference in approach? The NDA has not declared a CM candidate.
Yeah, so if you look at the chemistry in any alliance, it largely is based on three factors. One is declaration of leadership. Second is the seat finalization, as in who is going to fight how many seats, and then the candidate selection. If you see, both the alliances are facing all these three issues. But in terms of coherence of campaign, even, you have visited, and when I visited long back, even in August and September, there was a very common NDA poster across the state. On the left, Nitish, on the right, Prime Minister Modi, and then some slogan and NDA Sarkar. But even at that point of time, you could see big hoardings of Tejashwi, but all pointing towards or highlighting Tejashwi Sarkar. So it is very, very difficult to find a single poster. Actually, what the Prime Minister is saying is true, which mentions a Mahagathbandhan Sarkar. So when you talk about a Tejashwi Sarkar and not a Mahagathbandhan Sarkar, it actually excludes communities which parties like Congress add to the alliance. Because RJD brings largely MY bloc to the alliance, whereas the Congress party softens this anti-Yadav, anti-Muslim rhetoric, and it brings on a slice of Dalit, a slice of upper caste, EBCs, etc. to the alliance. Now, when we come to the declaration of the CM, I think BJP's position is very tactical. When we asked BJP supporters in Vote Vibe survey, do you want to see Nitish as CM? 1/3 said no. Because you have double the number of MLAs, you have double the number of ministers. Still, the heart or this 1/3 feels that why are you giving equal number of seats to JDU, and why are you still going to announce Nitish as CM? 25% said yes, he has done good work. So 1/4 are saying Nitish should be CM, he's done good work. 1/4 said Nitish should be CM, but he is a majburi because the BJP, as in we do not have any CM candidate. So half of the people want Nitish to be CM from BJP core base. 1/3 do not want Nitish to be CM. Now this 1/3 voter has an outlet in Jan Suraj in this election. So if it does not vote for JDU or a BJP candidate, it could prove to be risky. Just as in 2020, there was an outlet for a section of upper caste voters of BJP to vote for LJP. This 1/3 voter is largely comprising upper caste and Baniya community supporters of the BJP. So to keep them happy, the top two are not saying in plain simple words or direct words that Nitish would be CM. On the other side, JDU leadership is fairly okay with it that the NDA is contesting under the leadership of Nitish, and they are claiming that Nitish will be CM, and they are selling or trying to sell the same story to the JDU voters. So it's a
you're saying that because 1/3 of NDA voters
BJP voters. BJP
of
voters.
BJP, yes, we should make that BJP voters. Let me actually correct that. 1/3 of BJP voters do not want Nitish to be CM again, and because of that, the top two, Amit Shah and Modi, are being deliberately ambiguous or ambivalent on who would be chief minister, and this is because this is the voting bloc that could move towards Prashant Kishor. So
Yes.
be deliberately vague over whether
Yes.
Nitish may or may not become chief minister again.
Yes.
So it's a tactical choice and not a choice from incoherence or confusion.
No, it's a tactical choice, especially also when Jan Suraj has put up 87 upper caste candidates and 5
Yeah.
candidates from the Baniya community. So 92 candidates from the core vote block of BJP, whereas it has put up only 52 Muslim Yadav candidates. Correct. So it's clearly targeting, sort of, at least from the candidate's perspective, the upper caste and core upper caste Baniya traditional vote bank of the BJP. So they might slip to JSP because they see the return of a, let's say, an upper caste or a Brahmin CM, and I think that's why this tactical strategy has been followed.
So since you've brought up Prashant Kishor, before I come to the Mahagathbandhan, let's talk about Prashant Kishor. Now, Prashant Kishor, in an interview to me and to others, has made two claims. One, he has said that if Nitish Kumar gets more than 25, Prashant Kishor will leave politics. He says 25 is the outer limit, and he is willing to bet that Nitish Kumar will not be chief minister again. The other is that he makes a prediction for himself. He says, Jan Suraj ya arsh pe ya farsh pe. Either we will be totally irrelevant or we will be very, very significant. Which one do you think it is?
So see, there is a support for Jan Suraj amongst the younger voters, largely 18 to 24, because they are consuming everything on social media, and also amongst the migrants, because this hope that nobody needs to return back to states like a Gujarat or a Maharashtra where they are working, but rather stay in Bihar after 14th. I think this also is resonating amongst the migrant voters. But you have to see that this is the first election of Jan Suraj. Jan Suraj polled 10% votes in the bypolls held in 4 seats. Correct.
Yeah.
Largely at that point of time, it had damaged the Mahagathbandhan because Mahagathbandhan lost all the 3 seats which it was winning on. So if you see, Jan Suraj is raising the right issues. One can also argue that it has set the agenda with forcing BJP or RJD or NDA Mahagathbandhan to talk about unemployment, migration, health, education, etc. However, I'm very intrigued by the fact that the Jan Suraj has not released a manifesto for Bihar. That's number one. Number two, Prashant Kishor himself has not contested the election. So that also seems to have demoralized a section of the core vote bloc or the section of supporters who were attracted towards Jan Suraj. And if you see some of the policies, like even amongst youth, he's getting good traction amongst males vis-a-vis females because of his statement on prohibition. So in our trackers, amongst male youth, Jan Suraj is polling up to 18% support. Here, fragmenting the youth vote, which could have otherwise gone to Mahagathbandhan or Tejashwi Yadav.
I'll tell you, a lot of people I met. Sorry, just complete your point, then I'll respond.
Yeah, but amongst females, this support falls to just 8%. Youth females.
Very interesting there. But I was going to say that when I was in Bihar, a number of voters that I met who vote BJP or Nitish otherwise, NDA, like Prashant Kishor, but a lot of them said, उनको एक और election का जरूरत है. उनको अभी एक और election लगेगा. There's also this sense that this is not his time. He needs one more election. So I would say that I don't know what the numbers will be. I mean, I think he's established a certain resonance, a certain narrative, a certain recall. But he also suffers from the fact that he's still a one-person party in recall, in recognition. Would you agree?
Yes, he seems to be a one-person party. And also the fact that in a post-Nitish era, we do not know about the future, or there is an uncertainty about the future of JDU. And Bihar has seen 3 strong parties.
Yeah.
So in a post-Nitish era, there is a place for a party. So who will take up that space of JDU? Can it be Chirag or can it be Jan Suraj if he hangs around? Correct. So I think also a lot of opposition voters feel that the issues which need to be or needed to be raised by the opposition have actually been raised by Jan Suraj, including the corruption allegations. So if a 3-year party is raising serious corruption allegations, I am sure the Mahagathbandhan leaders, many people argue, would be aware of these, but were not clearly coming out in the open, correct? And taking on the
Can you hear me, Amitabh?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, we lost you briefly there, but I think the point you were making is that many people are asking why the Mahagathbandhan has not been effectively able to raise issues related to corruption allegations in the NDA if Prashant Kishor has. Now let's get to the Mahagathbandhan. Let's get to the Mahagathbandhan. Rahul Gandhi's key central issue has been vote chori. Earlier, it was the revision of roles, then it's been vote chori before the Bihar campaign, as well as now with a new press conference focused on Haryana, where he has cited the example of a Brazilian model whom he claims voted 22 times in Haryana. She has responded. It's become a big media story. But what is the resonance of the vote chori issue on the ground? I'll just play out this statement of Rahul Gandhi and then come right back.
जहां भी इलेक्शन लड़ रहे हैं ये वोट चोरी करके इलेक्शन जीत रहे हैं। हमने आपको कर्नाटका के बारे में दिखाया, आनंद के बारे में, महाराष्ट्र में एक सीट है वहां के बारे में दिखाया, और कल पूरी दुनिया को हमने दिखाया कि बीजेपी ने, इलेक्शन कमीशन ने हरियाणा का चुनाव चोरी किया है। और मुझे लगता है कि पिछला चुनाव बिहार में भी इन्होंने चोरी किया था। तो इस बार वोट चोरी नहीं होने देनी है। बिहार के युवा, ये आपका भविष्य है। नरेंद्र मोदी, अमित शाह, इलेक्शन कमीशन वोट चोरी में लगे हैं। आपकी जिम्मेदारी बनती है संविधान की रक्षा करना है, वोट चोरी नहीं होने देना है बिहार में। आप सब दूर दूर से आए, दिल से आपका धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं।
So, Amitabh, do you think vote chori, you see, like if you look at the press conference on the Brazilian model, it's certainly it's certainly a valid set of questions. And if we can for a moment just bring up that shot of that press conference where Rahul Gandhi is standing in front of this image of this Brazilian model and the question is being asked, ye kaun hai? Now she's responding saying, oh my God, this is crazy. This is an old picture of mine. He's claiming she has voted under 22 different entities. There's also today the opposition targeting BJP MP Rakesh Sinha because he was seen in photographs having voted first in Delhi and then in Bihar, according to Tehseen Poonawalla and others. Rakesh Sinha responded saying, if we could just change the banners there. Rakesh Sinha responded, they're saying that this is defamation and this has nothing to do. He basically got his own name transferred to Bihar because he has roots in Bihar and he's going to, sue for defamation. So vote chori is really taking on a very high voltage space in the media discourse. How much of it is an issue on the ground, according to you?
So let's say whenever again we discuss about a resonance of an issue, so SIR and vote chori is an issue in Bihar. But for whom? It is largely an issue for the core vote block of Mahagathbandhan because the top leadership of Mahagathbandhan is raising this issue now and again. So the highest traction of vote chori or SIR is amongst the Muslim Yadav community. So one can say that it has lesser resonance among the core vote block of NDA vote block, of course, energizing or motivating them, and they could in the end turn up in higher numbers. See, what is happening is that election is happening in Bihar. Not in Haryana, not in Karnataka. So if the Congress party were to take out or bring some examples of 2020, because Tejashwi has been talking about seat chori in 2020. So I am amazed by this fact as to why are they not coming up with seat chori or this vote chori allegation of 2020 Bihar. I mean, that will have higher resonance amongst the voters of Bihar. Correct? So they should have come up with seats which they lost in Bihar by a whisker in 2020 and try to prove their allegation that actually it was a victory of Mahagathbandhan and the Sarkari Tantra, as they allege, overturned that result and helped NDA win. So people will then see relevance. I mean, how are people going to see relevance on a Haryana or a Karnataka or a Maharashtra in Bihar? I think that's a big piece of strategy which the Mahagathbandhan seems to have not got right.
So, in other words, you believe that it has resonance more among the Muslim Yadav community, but the opposition has not successfully converted it into a critique of the 2020 Bihar election, where the RJD was in fact the single largest party.
Yes. I mean, that will be, I mean, if you say that, at least people will relate to that. That yes, this happened in 2020, counting stopped as is being alleged. In some cases, even postal ballot, again, as per the allegations of Mahagathbandhan, were again recounted. I mean, postal ballots are rarely recounted again because the number itself is very small. Correct? So
Yeah.
all these things should have been brought out. That would have had people recollect what happened in 2020 and relate to this much more than if a Haryana or Maharashtra. See, if you take 6 months to decode one Lok Sabha of Karnataka, which has 6 Vidhan Sabhas, you could have actually done many more Vidhan Sabhas within this 6 months, and they brought out a case study of Bihar.
Yeah, that's interesting. That why are we talking about Haryana in the middle of a Bihar election? I think is the point that you're making. In 2020, in fact, it was a very tightly fought election. RJD was the single largest party. So you're saying why aren't they talking about Bihar? Final question to you: what would you be looking out for between this phase and the next one that you think will be the X factor or could still be the X factor?
See, the female turnout is going to be an X factor because that would determine how much the impact of this scheme is, and largely the female turnout amongst the non-core voters of NDA, which is the Muslim Yadav Samaj. I feel that these are silent voters and it's very difficult to catch in a survey. If you see the Mahayuti election or the Maharashtra election of 2024, 22% Muslim voters voted for Mahayuti as per CSTS. And if we assume that males would have voted lesser and females more, then it actually means that perhaps 30 to 40%, if not less, female Muslim voters who received the benefit actually may have silently voted for the NDA, which led to this resonating victory. So that's number one. Number two is the better the Jan Suraj does, the closer will be the election. The worse it does, it could be a comfortable majority or one-sided for either of the alliances. The entire dasha and disha of this election is going to be fought in the 50 seats which the Congress has been pitted against the BJP and the JDU.
Yeah.
Now, JDU was defeated by all parties in 2020. CPIML, RJD, everybody had an upper hand. But when it came to JDU versus Congress, the JDU had a strike rate of 61%. So despite all this ho-halla, despite this strategy of bargaining for better seats, quality seats, Congress has still got 50 to contest with the informed batsmen of NDA, which is JDU and BJP. Correct? It has not got a single seat of Upendra Kushwaha party. It has just got one seat of Hum. And RJD, the strongest player of Mahagathbandhan, has pocketed the easier contest against LJP, Hum and RLM. 30 out of 40 seats they are contesting. And this is also one of the things which is leading to friction between the Congress and the RJD workers on the ground, that RJD seems to have pocketed the easier ones and not given Congress some of those seats to fight and given them the tougher contest. 30 seats Congress has never won of these 60.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting, and might explain why Rahul Gandhi went missing from the campaign for a few days.
Yeah, so the Dasha and Disha is Congress performance. Correct. And there's one more point, just one more, where people talk a lot about caste and how caste is important or not important. In 105 seats in Bihar, the same caste or community has been winning for the last 3 elections. 105 out of 243. And in 113 more seats, the same caste has won 2 out of 3 elections. So which means on 218 out of 243 seats, the same caste or community has the varchasva, irrespective of parties. Correct. On these 105 seats where the same caste or community has been winning, NDA has put up candidates of the same caste or community on 81 seats, 81 out of 105. So they expect a repeat of the trend, correct? Whereas Mahagathbandhan has put up only 58 or 59 candidates of the same caste on these 105 seats. It could also be a real, you can say, differentiator when we analyze the results post the elections. Because caste is a big factor in Bihar, and one cannot underestimate the power or
importance. Well, absolutely fascinating data there, Amitabh, especially those interesting points about... Oops, I think... Right. Absolutely fascinating data there, Amitabh. Always a pleasure talking to you and learning so much from you. Thank you so much, and hope to talk to you again after the second phase. Look forward. Take care. See you soon.
Always a pleasure. Always an honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskar. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.